Hello everyone, I am Chris Williams and I'm here with another review. This time we're going to review Female Furies issue 3. In my review where I reviewed Miracle Man issue 9, in that issue of Miracle Man which portrayed the original events of this issue, everything was done much more competently by Jack Kirby. His character of Ariel, who dies in this issue, is completely better than what they portrayed here in this issue, which is a farce and is just destroys DC canon. I mean, Cecile Castellucci has completely outdone herself. She took an issue like Miracle Man issue 9, which was, in my opinion, damn near perfect. I mean, the writing might have been a little more than dramatic prose and nothing really with the characters interacting with each other on a very emotional level. It was like the outlines of it, but it was incredibly good. Here we just have a rape of that issue, of those events. Here we see Beautiful Dreamer being told by Granny Goodness to use her dream powers and give good dreams so she can use them on Ariel and make her back into what she was before the events with Willick. Instead, Beautiful Dreamer says she can't use the dreams they usually have because they're all miserable, and all they can do is she can work with what she has, and the dreams she makes aren't very well to control the Female Furies because all it is just pure misery. So Granny Goodness says find anything, and Beautiful Dreamer does. So she looks into the Female Furies, into any good memories they have, any ambitions they want. For Granny Goodness, it's her dog Mercy that she raised from a pup. With the others, you will soon see all the Female Furies' various ambitions and dreams. Granny Goodness hopes to use this to motivate all of them to new levels and to cause Ariel to revert to where she is a prime soldier of Apocalypse. Here we see Mad Harriet making, of all things, Darkseid happy. Stampa is a wrestler, and, well, Benedith is killing her brother Desaad, the torturer of Darkseid, while Lashina, Big Barda are having their own dreams. Big Barda particularly shouldn't be having this dream because she has not yet fallen in love with Scott-Free Mr. Miracle. And here we have Beautiful Dreamer altering the minds of the Female Furies while Granny Goodness just indulges with her dog. Here we see Ariel having a bad dream. Even though she's dancing for Willick. This is supposed to be, all this is really kind of a nightmare because she's basically dancing for a rapist. And this isn't good. In the original Mr. Miracle 9, Ariel didn't talk, and she was so much stronger than this character. Here, Beautiful Dreamer realizes Ariel is a kindred spirit and that both of them could escape if Ariel helps Beautiful Dreamer escape from Granny Goodness. Here we see Beautiful Dreamer trying to convince Ariel to help her and that she could be free of Apocalypse and dance to her heart content if she finds a place of her own, like being free on Earth or New Genesis. Ariel can only ask, is this a trick? And she's not so sure she can trust Beautiful Dreamer. Because in the original Mr. Miracle issue 9, Ariel did not talk, if I had mentioned that before. And she showed more character, more development than anything I've seen in this entire series. Ariel, of course, wakes up because Beautiful Dreamer allows her out of her dream. So she goes to where Beautiful Dreamer is being held by Granny Goodness. And she commences to start releasing Beautiful Dreamer from her restraints, while Granny Goodness, who still retains some level of awareness, is trying to stop Ariel at least, from escaping. So she grabs her and they begin to fight. But before she can, Beautiful Dreamer uses her power to make another illusion. This time she called up the memory of Granny Goodness's dog, mercy, and we see Granny Goodness reliving the memory of her having to kill her own dog so that she could appease Darkseid, because he had asked her to show her total loyalty to him by killing her dog. Here we see Granny Goodness, after the spell wears off, going back to the Female Furies, and that Ariel has escaped with Beautiful Dreamer, saying that Beautiful Dreamer has kidnapped Ariel and that they need to go after her. Of course, all the Female Furies obey, but before they can actually go out after them, Granny Goodness is called into the presence of Darkseid. Darkseid asks about Scott-Free and how Scott-Free is going to betray him and escape New Genesis. In the original Mr. Miracle, issue 9, he wanted Scott-Free to escape anywhere, because doing so will break the treaty with New Genesis, so that Darkseid can commence the war with New Genesis once again. And here we see Granny Goodness ordering all the present Female Furies out after them, and that her talk with Darkseid went well. Here we see that Ariel has gone to meet Haman. In the original Mr. Miracle issue 9, Haman is the mentor of Ariel and Scott-Free. He basically teaches them what it means to be free and to look for their dreams. But before anything really good can happen with Ariel dancing, the Female Furies barge in. They take back Ariel back to Granny Goodness, and Big Barda was going to kill, or at least imprison, Haman. Here she pins the soon-to-be Mr. Miracle scot-free to a wall, and he says that there's no way that she can confine him, because he easily escapes Big Barda and the Female Furies, and Haman and him escape. Granny Goodness, of course, is angry at Ariel and that she has no more use for her. She gives her over to Willick. Willick, in the original Mr. Miracle issue, used a bunch of boots that were electrically charged to electrocute Ariel to death. Here, he puts a bunch of boots that have been heated red hot in fire, put them on her legs, and she basically dances till her own legs dissolve from the flames, and she falls down as she's being forced to dance by Willick. This is not good. The original Mr. Miracle issue had all this action and all this pathos with little dialogue and with just actions, with Willick killing children and looking like a total monster. Here he comes off as a generic feminist view of male privilege, that he's just a bully and a sadist. But this is nothing compared to how cruel he was in the original Mr. Miracle issue, which made him out to be a true monster. This comes out as just being vain and little. This is not a monster. This is a little girl pretending to be a monster. This is a little girl's vision of what a mean man, a sadist killer is like. But this is nothing to what Jack Kirby portrayed the character as. Here is a real rape of canon. In the original issue, Big Barda and Mr. Miracle only learn about Ariel's death after she is dead. She does not die in the arms of Big Barda, who up to this point in this series hasn't seemed to have cared at all about Ariel. In fact, she seemed just as cutthroat as the rest of the Female Furies. And here we see her crying over a woman who at this point we've seen her basically hate. This is completely breaking the canon of this own series. This only in the original Mr. Miracle series did we see Big Barda care about any of them. At Ariel's funeral, of all things, apparently the Female Furies do get funerals. We see her blaming Willick for the death of Ariel. And Mr. Miracle, scot-free, comes to her, offering her revenge on Willick, and that they could do something to avenge Ariel. This is completely breaking canon again. Big Barda in the original series was strong, and she did care. in the original Mr. Miracle series. But here, this completely messes up the character. She's all over the place. And this is what I have to say about this issue. It is a bad comic book. This series of Female Furies completely destroys Jack Kirby's vision. Or at least messes it up to the point where you really hate it. I would suggest skipping this, because I don't see any improvement at all in the third issue, and I doubt there will be any improvement in the final issues. I would say, furthermore, that they've messed up all the Female Furies. At first they seem to hate Ariel, and then they love her, or at least Big Barda seems to love her, even though she was just as much a bully in the last issue as she was in the first issue to Ariel. Ariel, just before her death, she was just all over the place, crying and crying. When we first see Ariel's character in the original 1970s Miracle Man, she did not talk. I have to stress that again. She did not talk through that entire issue as I remember it. But she had more character development, more passion than anything that would come out of her mouth just through her actions, and basically having other characters ask her what she wanted to do, if she wanted to dance, and through those actions we got to know the character and really appreciate her. This issue by Cecile Castellucci destroys the character. Well, that's all I have to say about this review. I hope you do enjoy this, and if you do, subscribe to my channel, leave a like, and leave some comments down below. I'll be back again soon with another review.